Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we got another good one for you. Today we are going to talk everything Ned Rigs. Different baits to use, different ways to use them, and some of these ways might even shock you. So stay tuned, it's going to be a good one. Hey guys, today we're going to talk everything about a bait that's been around for a while, the Ned Rig. We're going to talk about baits that you might not have thought about using, different ways to use them, and as always, we're going to show some of them baits and tell you where to use them. Okay, so let's get started. The gear that I use a loose speed stick rod, power medium light, 6'9", 6'9" action, with a Fluger try-on reel. I believe that's a size 200. It's a finesse rod, guys, and I run 8-pound braid to 6-pound fluorocarbon leader. One of the ways I want to talk about right away, well, before we get into that, actually, let's talk about what Ned Baits I would use. I have a few that I really like. I like the Ned TRDs, the Ned TRD ticklers. That's Purple Death. Guys, they all have their place. It's Purple Death. If I'm using the regular TRD, I like the Yoga Pants color. The ticklers I also like color called Meat Dog this time of the year. Purple Death. What did you just seen? The Yoga Pants. Guys, if they're not hitting on the regular TRD, I may try the tickler. Sometimes though, if everybody's throwing the Z-Man products, because they are well known, you need to switch it up. A couple other baits that I've grown to like is the X-Zone Ned. This color being Smoke Purple Jam. Really like this. This little bulbous tail stands up in the water, and the current gives it a little, when you're not moving, that current will shake it around a little bit. Really cool little Ned bait. Did me some justice up there in Erie this year. A couple of the other ones I got. Of course, you can't fish without having, this is an X-Zone bait, but black. Black is always a deadly color. And that's the X-Zone Ned 2. 3-inch. Guys, there, let's see the package here. Okay, guys, a couple other ones, and then we'll get into profiles that aren't so quote-unquote common, is the Missile Baits Ned. The Ned Bomb, actually. This one being Fishalicious. Now notice that just has like a spade of a tail. That's going to get a lot of action. Okay. And it's just a different profile, guys. I can't stress this enough about being different. It's going to have a different action than the ticklers and the TRD and the X-Zone Ned. It's just going to have a different action. It's going to have a different look. Sometimes they are still on the bottom. Sometimes they're still eating, small baits off the bottom. And it's all about that different action, different profile. The other one I have in the Ned Bomb is the Sunfish IPA. That's a Sunfish IPA. It's a nice little color there. And these are missile baits, the missile Ned bombs. Show you the package. Okay, guys, I can't stress enough about being different, being creative. Um, Basically, if I'm using those, I'm doing the drag. If I get stuck, I'm going to shake it a little bit. A lot of times, like if you get caught on a shell or something, shell bit or something, you know, or a rock, you just quiver that rod tip. That bait's down there doing this. They're going to come unwound. They're going to eat it. If that doesn't work, I'm going to let it go to the bottom. I'm going to let it sit there, let the current, the natural current of the water, push it around a little bit. I'm going to pop it off the bottom, and I'll let it go back down. A lot of times it'll spiral down. I'm going to do that again, pop it off the bottom. If that doesn't work, I might start dragging it, and then pop it, let it hit the bottom, let it sit for a minute, start dragging it again. That usually is going to do it, one of those three techniques, guys. But now let's get into the whole reason of the video, the reason that excites me so much about the Ned video. You know, some baits that I've been messing around with that just blew my mind how well they work and how good they work in the water. And we're going to start off with a fluke style bait. This being the Arkansas, Tiny Fluke Arkansas Shiner. Okay. This bait is awesome on the Ned head. Okay. And even in muddy water, this, you know, bait gets some work in. Guys, you can work it like a traditional Ned. You know, pop it off the bottom and that bait's going to go down. And depending on how the head sets, it might stand up or it'll go and start to lay down. And of course, then you're going to want to pop it off the bottom again. But as you can see, it's on my finesse rod in a way that I've been messing around with it. And this is just a Z-Man shroom head, 1/32 ounce. Is another way to work a Ned is to swim it, right? What better way than that? You got a natural bait fish profile, and the cool thing about this little setup here is, if you know, if you're on a dock, on your kayak, on your boat, or you can tight line it from the bank, this bait will set vertical when it's stopped, just like that. And you see, I'm not even moving to look at that tail quiver. Guys, it was a deadly technique for me. You know, I didn't have a video on the last fishing trip out on my kayak, but I went out to a place called Queen of Mahoney, which about a half-hour drive from my house, and took my kayak out. And again, go back to the weed video. Hadn't fished there in over a year. Didn't know where these fish were. Don't have a fish finder on my kayak. Left the launch, went right over to the lily pad field, found the point, fished around that, found the cove, fished around that, nothing was happening. Went down the side, found where two weeds, the lily pads and some hydraulic matted up together, double cover, threw the Ozark rig in there, bam. Moved down into the weed line, following the same tactics that I talk about in the weed videos, and started with that little fluke, just swimming it back real slow, you know, doing like the mid-strolling technique where shaking my rod tip and reeling real slow. Just started hammering them. So, you know, you don't have to have crazy lures. You can have one that does two different things. It can works real well as traditional Ned bait, but also can use it as a mid-strolling bait. Okay, guys. Next one I want to talk about, staying with the fluke styles, is the Maxent Berkeley Power Minnow, flat nose minnow. That would work good in that situation. And two more for you guys. The Berkeley Power Minnow. Okay, this one being the Emerald Shiner. color. These are real soft. The other thing I noticed, if you rig them up on the Z-Man head, the Z-Man mushroom head, Ned head, they don't pull down off the hook. I don't have any super glue, and I caught multiple fish on that one bait, and as you can see, it hasn't tore, it hasn't pulled from the hook. It holds real good to the hook, which is great. Okay, the other one I wanted to show you is the Berkeley Power Minnow Black Shad color. Just trying to give you guys some ideas. These are fluke style baits for your Ned head 3-incher. But you can also use it as a mid-strolling bait. And finally, the last two in the fluke category would have to be the Strike King 0Z2. These are a straight tail fluke style bait. A lot of guys don't think about them, use them for mid-strolling, or even in this case, Neds. But I think they're excellent for that application. Look at that tail just quivering. This color being the juice. This one's called the juice. I would call it baby bass color, but it's called the juice. I had to double check, guys. That color is the juice. And the other color I got is Gray Glimmer Pearl. Guys, excellent mid-strolling bait, excellent Ned bait. Again, it's all about being different. See, that tail quivers real nice. You know, just a soft jerk bait, but hey guys, it's a different way to fish it. You know, get you some more bites. And then, last but not least, because I know this video has been long, the Helgermite. Guys, I can't say enough about the Helgermite. They're cheap baits to get, and man, do they do it, they do the work. They catch big ones, they catch numbers. This one here is the Midsummer Night. It's a darker color, but I run that on a Ned head, guys. You can also drop shot them, but we're talking Neds right now. The other one that I have a video on and did just phenomenal, I mean, had a banner day, is the Northern Lights color. In muddy water, this here is absolutely killer. And finally, the last bait is going to be the Copper Creek one. And that looks like this, guys. Just another dark profile. It's a little lighter on the bottom. I don't know if you can see that in the camera than the top. And that's the Helgermite, guys. Guys, when I'm using them, and I'm using them on a Ned, the technique for that is cast it out. I'm going to let that Ned take it down. And of course, it's going to stand straight up for a minute, and then it's going to lay down. Well, Helgermites don't stand straight up. They're down anyhow. And it kind of lays. If you rig it, you'll see there's little nubs on the head. If you rig it with those nubs up, it'll lay down most of the time like it's actually sitting upright. And then I'll just twitch that rod just ever so slightly, not to pop it off the bottom, and I'm real slow, just bringing it off the bottom, bouncing it off stuff. Every once in a while I'll pop it up over something, or just pop it up off the bottom, let it go back down, and just quiver it across the bottom as it's going slowly across the bottom. This is going to create a lot of bites. It has caught me a lot of fish out in the creeks, in the lakes. You know, it just puts in the work. Guys, that's pretty much it. Just some ideas for different ideas for Ned rigs, Ned baits that have caught me a lot of fish, that should catch you a lot of fish. Like I said, techniques are simple. You can cast it out, let it hit the bottom, and do the the drag, or you cast it out, drag and pop, cast it out and just pop, let it set, pop, let it set. You can swim it. Obviously, with those fluke styles, sometimes just swimming it's nice, you know, mid-strolling it, I guess you would call it, because that for those smaller fluke style baits, that 32nd ounce mushroom head holds it horizontal. It's perfect. Um, or you could drag it and then get it caught on something and just twitch that rod tip ever so slightly and then let it set and then start dragging it again. Or pop it and, pop it and then drag it until you get it caught on something and quiver it again. Okay guys, well those are just some tips for the Ned Rig. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. It just helps the channel out, helps bring more content to you guys. And um, like always, if you have something you want to add to the video, or any questions you have, or you just want to say hello, please leave them down in the comments below. Love to hear from you guys. And by the way, guys, if you use one of these ideas and you catch a monster, you catch a bunch of fish, or you just catch your first fish, or you're just surprised that it worked, send me a photo. Love to see you guys' success stories. All right, guys. Till next time. We'll see you on the next one.